If you grew up in the Midwest, Twister is an iconic movie. For me, this is one of my favorite movies growing up, and I've continued to love it all the way into adulthood. And today, we're going to talk about Twister on VHS. Welcome back to the Ecto-Violence channel. My name's Alec. Twisters comes out this week, the long-awaited sequel to Twister from 1996. So I thought I'd pull out my Dorothy sensor and Twister VHS and refresh myself. Let's go ahead and throw this tape in, shall we? This tape opens up with a trailer for Space Jam, and then a 20th anniversary re-release of Willy Wonka. There's a quick ad for the Twister motion picture soundtrack, which I do have, but I couldn't find for this video. You get that lovely Warner Home Video logo, and then the Twister Tasmanian Devil little ad here. You may notice I'm wearing a Twister Museum shirt. There is a museum for Twister that's been open since 1995, 1996. It's in Wakita, where Aunt Meg lived, because they shot on location there. Later this week, I do have a Twister filming location tour video coming out, so be sure to hit that subscribe button for that. But I do have some things that I got there at the Twister Museum. This little sensor, the Dorothy sensor, being one of them. They apparently were left with a bunch of unused Twister, the official movie production envelopes too. Got some postcards there. If you're ever driving by Oklahoma City, take a little detour. There's a Wakita Twister Fact or Fiction. I'm not going to go through this whole thing, but there are some interesting points here to talk about with this movie. Number 3, the Oklahoma City bombing occurred while the construction crew was in Wakita. This is true, and I think the people of the set actually went down there to help. Number 12, Twister was the first movie on DVD. I don't know if it's the very first, but it was one of the first for sure. I haven't looked into that. I've seen that claimed before, though. It's very interesting. So let's go ahead and start talking about the positives for Twister. The cast, unbeatable. Helen Hunt as Jo, this character who can't let go of her father's past, is insanely driven to the point where she's suicidal and doesn't care what it takes. She just wants to encounter and face these tornadoes and try to take them down, but also is kind of like, yeah, just kill me. Bill Paxton as Bill.
Honey, this is a tissue of lies. See, there was another Bill, an evil Bill, and I killed him.
Iconic, we all miss Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton was in everything from Weird Science to Club Dread, to Predator 2, Aliens. Like, this guy had a great career. There's going to be people commenting below and the stuff that I missed out. Frailty. Jamie Gertz as Melissa, obviously most well-known for me from The Lost Boys.
No, I don't want to!
Feel it with a telephoto lens!
No!
Oh, come on, what's the matter? What's
You
wrong?
people are all crazy! Do you know that?
Alan Ruck as Rabbit. Obviously, he's Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's one of the bus passengers in Speed, also directed by Jean Debont.
Trust me, Rabbit is good, Rabbit is wise.
Mother of God.
Christ.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace, bro. We love this guy.
The suck zone. It's the point, basically, at which the Twister sucks you up.
And he plays Dusty, one of the funnest characters in the movie. The effects. Apparently, one of the things that they did to try to get this movie made was just had an effects reel made up by Industrial Light and Magic. And that was essentially the pitch for the movie. Because these effects, they're kind of like Jurassic Park, Independence Day, you know, Terminator 2. Okay, the music and the sound. This movie was actually nominated for Academy Awards for Best Effects and Best Sound. And the actual sound of the tornadoes is terrifying. There's a music sequence I do want to talk about in the movie when they head out to chase their first big tornado in the movie.
It's the wonder of nature, baby!
He's playing it over his loudspeaker, and it gets to this crazy guitar solo section, and they overlay the William Tell Overture on it. And then on top of that, they overlay Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain.
From the musical Oklahoma. And this is not like auditory vomit or anything. It actually works well. Whoever designed this and did this sequence in sound and thought, like, my God, this is such an underrated scene in this movie. Of editing and sound work, like, I'm impressed. And I've been watching this movie for 28 years. Let's talk about some negatives. I only have 2. They're very small, and they're just nitpicky, so I can actually have something to say in this section. The dog panic opening, I want to skip it every time. It's like the opening of Ace Ventura 2. Even though Ace Ventura 2 is parodying Cliffhanger, I'm still sad when that raccoon dies. It's not cool. The dog survives in this, so I know that's coming, but like, I want to have a panic attack every time. Here's a negative that's not actually in the film itself, but Jean de Bont was apparently a total butthead on the set of this movie, to the point where he pushed a camera assistant at one point. He fell over, then they walked off set. They hired a new crew for that, and then the new director of photography got hurt in an accident in one of the houses collapsing. Apparently he talked a little shit on Helen Hunt too after the filmmaking. I think the story integrated into this movie is done really well, with a husband and wife coming together. You're about to get divorced, but obviously by the end of the movie they're not going to. Michael Crichton and Anne-Marie Martin were paid $2.5 million to write this movie. They're kind of inspired by the movie His Girl Friday, if you've ever seen that. Quentin Tarantino's talked about that movie quite a bit too. And a PBS documentary about storm chasers, kind of like melding that together. And as far as storytelling goes, well executed, man. I love Twister, and I'm stoked to see Twisters next week. Why don't you jump in the comments down below and tell me what you think of Twister, and if you're excited to see Twisters next week. And if you like this video, be sure to check out this one and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.